Hello, welcome to our pre-recorded webinar where I'll introduce you to Laser's new basket offering, the Green Basket. My name is Marina Slater. I'm a renewable energy supply consultant here, and I'm one of the people that have been involved in developing the Green Basket. For our agenda today, I'll be covering the Green Basket concept, how it differs from other approaches you may already be familiar with, the traceability element of the electricity and REGOs purchased through the Green Basket methodology, trading considerations with regards to the Green Basket methodology trades, commercial considerations if you're interested in joining the Green Basket, timeline for joining, and at the end, we also have some FAQs. Starting off with the concept of the Green Basket, the idea is for customers to have access to a product facilitated via Laser's framework and the electricity supplier npower, where there is a purchasing link with a specific known renewable generator. So it provides a traceability element for any electricity purchased under the Green Basket methodology that isn't available under a standard REGOs back tariff where electricity is purchased from the wholesale market. But it also doesn't require a direct contractual relationship between the customer and the generator. And therefore, if we imagine the market as a spectrum, we see the Green Basket as sitting somewhere between a standard supplier REGOs back tariff and the corporate PPA. How does the Green Basket differs from these other two approaches? Well, first let's look at these two diagrams that help show us the difference between a standard supplier REGOs back tariff and a corporate PPA in terms of the link between the different parties involved. Both approaches involve the same main players, so we've got the supplier, the consumer, and the electricity and REGO sources. The key difference is that with a REGOs back tariff, everything is pretty anonymous and agnostic. It's anonymous because the electricity purchased on the customer's behalf can't be traced back to a specific generator, and it's agnostic because the electricity source, whether renewable or not, is not specified. With the corporate PPA approach, the consumer holds a direct contract, so the corporate PPA, with a renewable generator under which they agree the sale of a fixed amount of electricity volume from that generator, together with the associated REGOs. And then through what is referred to as a sleeving schedule, the supplier facilitates the transaction of electricity from that generator to the consumer. And any consumption requirement from the consumer not met by the corporate PPA is then bought from the wholesale market, with REGOs from the wider supplier pot to back it up. Now, looking at the diagram for the Green Basket, it looks similar to that of a corporate PPA, but the main difference here is that there isn't a direct contractual relationship between the consumer and the generator. Instead, this contractual relationship sits between the supplier and the generator. With this approach, based on instructions from Laser, the supplier buys volume of electricity and REGOs from a specific named renewable generator from within their own supply chain to supply to the Green Basket. Any trade that's agreed is managed through a netting schedule, and any shortfall of electricity requirement from the basket not met by the trade with the renewable generator is sourced from the wholesale market and REGOs from the wider supplier pot. Next up, as we continue to look at how the Green Basket differs from the other approaches, here we've got a table that shows how the Green Basket stacks up against the standard REGO back tariff and a corporate PPA across a few different key operational areas. If we start off by looking at the REGO traceability and the link between the traded volume and the REGOs, then with the REGOs tariff, the REGOs come from a broader supplier pool, which as standard is not tied to specific generation or linked to the traded electricity. Whereas with the Green Basket and the corporate PPA, the REGOs come from the same source as the traded electricity with the known generator, so we get clear traceability for that those REGOs and that specific electricity volume trade. With regards to additionality, which is contributing to new renewable capacity being added to the national grid, then the corporate PPAs, they often support additionality when it's linked to new build assets, because these agreements, so the corporate PPAs, they often help the developers secure project financing and help them go ahead with building the project. With the REGOs back tariff and the electricity is sourced from the wholesale market, so it doesn't contribute to additionality. And with the Green Basket, based on the feedback that we've had from the supplier so far, the traded electricity is likely to come from existing assets, so it doesn't support additionality, but it does support the continued operation of that asset. With regards to carbon reporting, it's the same for all three approaches. They all are valid under Scope 2 guidelines and would be reported in the same way. And with volume requirements, the REGO tariff, it's very flexible. There's no need to pre-commit to a volume. The requirements are often matched to consumption. With the corporate PPA, it does require a fixed volume commitment, and it usually starts at around 20 gigawatt hours or more per annum. With the Green Basket, it's slightly more flexible. There isn't an individual requirement on the customer, but the basket as a whole needs to meet a minimum volume. As for price drivers, the corporate PPAs, they're often de-linked from the wholesale market because of the long-term nature of the agreement. And for new builds specifically, the price is typically driven by the value needed to support the investment of the project. Whereas for the Green Basket and the REGOs back tariff, these are shorter term, so the pricing is linked to prevailing wholesale rates. With regards to the length of commitment, we've got corporate PPAs that, as mentioned previously, is a long-term commitment. So these are typically 10 years or more. For new builds, for the Green Basket, this is called terminus with the supply agreement, and REGO tariffs, the volume commitment is to the end of the supply agreement, but customers can opt in or out of REGOs on an annual basis. And finally, we've got contracting effort. The REGO tariffs, they are straightforward, is a commitment to the supply agreement, so technically minimal effort. Corporate PPAs can be complex and they require significant legal and procurement work. Whereas the Green Basket, again, it sits somewhere in the middle. It's facilitated through Laser Supply Framework, so it comes under existing supply agreements, but it does require a variation letter to be agreed to. As mentioned previously, the Green Basket will provide the traceability element beyond that of a standard REGOs back tariff from the supplier. And it will also relink electricity and REGOs for any trade agreed with the known renewable generator, because the REGOs will be purchased by the supplier from the same generator for the equivalent volume of the renewable electricity traded. So there are two elements which will provide an audit trail for traceability within the Green Basket, and these are the netting schedule and an annual REGOs report. The netting schedule, because it will detail any trade of electricity and REGOs from the specific renewable generator to the Green Basket. And then the REGOs report, so the supplier will generate this at basket level on an annual basis. The report will identify the generators that the REGOs have come from, and it will also include REGO IDs for the associated REGOs with the Green Basket volume, amongst other things. So the images within this slide, they show examples of some of the information which will be included in the report. Looking at trading considerations for the Green Basket, as we know, this product is part of Laser's suite of flexible hedging baskets, each designed with different strategic approaches. This means that trades may still be made at different times with varying volumes and prices, but the key difference is that the priority of the Green Basket is to source electricity directly from renewable generators. And based on the feedback from generators so far, seems they may be interested in a Green Basket trades at volumes starting from 20 gigawatt hours per annum for a minimum of a 2 years delivery period. Therefore, if we base it on an aggregate basket size of 100 gigawatt hours per annum, the scale of volume being traded for the green basket in a single transaction may be 20% or more of the total basket volume. And when compared to the sub 5% trades we're typically seen in our standard basket sourced from the wholesale energy market, each green basket trade may carry more risk than what is typically experienced in our standard baskets. Though it's worth noting that as the basket volume increases, this percentage will get smaller, which is the ambition. Any volume requirement not satisfied by the trades with renewable generators will be procured from the wholesale market. In essence, when it comes to trading under the green basket, Laser will continue to act as your market risk manager just as we do now. We'll use our best endeavors to secure volume and market reflective prices and within the scope of a risk policy. This risk policy will set robust controls to help protect pricing while giving Laser the flexibility to act when opportunities arise. And the controls are designed to help manage the additional risk that comes with larger, longer term trades. And similarly to our other baskets, the green basket risk policy will be overseen by the Laser governance panel to ensure transparency and accountability. As a final note, I wanted to say that the renewable generators are not obligated to sell to us, so the green basket trade approach is a best endeavors, and generator appetite is key to it working and will be throughout the life of the basket. In the previous slide, we'd covered some trading considerations, and here we're now looking at how the trading may work in practicality. As it stands, the first iteration of the green basket will run to 2028. And in this illustration, we can see the same green basket and wholesale market volume across the 2 years. And this is because we'll have 2 years left under the current framework from the planned green basket start date. And since each green basket trade will likely cover a 2-year period, based on the feedback we've had from generators so far, it's likely that we will only have the opportunity to agree a single trade under the green basket methodology for this first iteration, with the rest of the volume being satisfied from the wholesale market. However, we aim to expand the green basket out into 2032 under the new framework, which we're procuring next year in 2026. And as we're looking to include a provision for this product within the next framework tender, next year in 2026, once the new framework is awarded, we'll know if the awarded supplier can facilitate the green basket. And at that point, we can begin plans to extend the basket out to 2032. And that would provide us with opportunity to secure more volume under the green basket methodology. And what we have here on this slide is a chart that illustrates the concept behind buying electricity via the green basket methodology in a longer horizon. It shows a progressive purchasing model where the green basket trades increase and consequently the wholesale market trades decrease. It is worth noting again that we can't guarantee the sourcing of electricity under the green basket methodology, as it will depend on the generator's appetite and also the basket volume commitment. We've listed here some commercial considerations to keep in mind if you're interested in joining the green basket. Firstly, to proceed, the basket requires a minimum combined customer committed volume of 100 gigawatt hours per annum. And this is because we envision the makeup of this first iteration of the basket to be primarily from existing customers. So where you, as the customer, is sitting in one of our other baskets, any volume purchased on your behalf up until the point of migration to the green basket will be moved to the green basket too. So that means that from inception, the green basket will already have some closed off volume. And looking at the purchasing trajectory for our current basket, setting the green basket aggregate volume at a minimum of 100 gigawatt hours per annum is the position that will most likely allow us sufficient buying power with the generators. And that's because the feedback is that they'd be interested in trades starting from 20 gigawatt hours per annum. It's
Also worth noting, the access to the green basket may be assessed on a case-by-case basis because depending on how much interest and uptake we have from different customers, we need to assess the impact to the individual baskets that you'll be migrating from, such as not to decimate those baskets. And if you are interested in joining, an amendment to your current customer access agreement will be needed to reflect the change of basket and the additional risk policy document. This amendment doesn't alter your obligations under the framework, but it serves as an additional instruction regarding how your volume should be procured. And since you remain contracted under the current framework agreement and the green basket will be subject to the same volume tolerance clauses, you'd need to be confident of the electricity volume that you're committing to the green basket. And another and final commercial consideration that's worth highlighting here in this moment is that the green basket incurs an extra management fee on top of the supply framework fee you're already paying, and this is to cover the costs of the additional purchasing and netting required. But this fee won't apply if we can't secure green basket volume through the green basket methodology. We have here a simple timeline showing some key dates leading up to the start of the green basket. Now, depending on the customer uptake, we might have two versions of the green basket, one starting from October 26 and another one starting from April 27. For the customers looking to join the green basket from October 26, we currently require commitment by the end of February 26, and for customers looking to join the green basket from April 27, we require commitment by the end of March 26. And this is to allow us a reasonable window to attempt to secure volume from renewable generators through the green basket trading methodology, and also to allow us a reasonable window to implement the fallback procedure should we be unable to secure that volume from the renewable generators for different reasons, whether the volume is unavailable or the appetite from the generator isn't there. The fallback procedure being purchasing from the wholesale market. And finally here, we've got a short list of frequently asked questions that we've received through engagement on the Green Basket concept so far. I won't go through them as hopefully all of the information is on screen. So please pause and have a read through in your own time. And this is all from me today. Thank you again for your time and joining me in this pre-recorded webinar. Should you have any questions on anything that has been covered during this video, or any questions relating to the Green Basket, how to sign up, or anything else, please get in contact with your account manager. Thank you.